In my careers, I have had predominantly a role in healthcare, and in particular a role with patients and developing staff and teams to work together to truly care and to deliver quality. In the healthcare industry, as a nurse, as a bedside nurse, it was my privilege to be with people and patients who were truly in need, and to be able to determine what was needed and help fulfill those needs. I then went on as an administrator to really do the same type of work, just with a larger amount of people, certainly a larger budget to spend. And goals were always the same. How do I get to people what they need in order to do their jobs? How do we get to patients what they need in order to have optimum health? One of the factors that led me to that area, I saw a need to make things work for people, to give them things that facilitated their jobs and the work they wanted to do. I was led to create a business called Connect the Dots. And again, you can see the analogy between making things work and connect the dots. Connect the Dots, my mission statement, was something I had embraced years before, but it was to promote the growth and success of individuals and teams. Along this path, my spiritual life increased greatly. I began to see that in the external world, we have jobs that we do, we have roles that we play, and on the internal world, in our spiritual life, we have a relationship that we want to cultivate, that we want to grow from. And there's many gifts that can come to us through our spiritual life. So I have been writing all of my life. I had published a book of poetry called Between Shifts that was about my work in healthcare, my work with patients and family and staff. It was very well received. I was very honored that it was out there. The goal of this work was to make people understand that whatever they felt, whatever emotions they had, it was all fine. It was all natural and acceptable, and that we are not judging, we are accepting and allowing and loving. I had a dear friend several years ago who contacted me after the holidays and wrote me a large email because her daughter had been in a horrific car accident. And I started to read this email, and it was so graphic, and the energy in this email came up to me, and I couldn't finish it. I hit reply, and I just sent her a blessing to bless her day. And I did that the next day and the next day, and around the third or the fourth day I was finally able to finish this email. And so I replied to her with more content, what can I do to help? What do you need? I can come down and be with you. How can I help you? And she replied very simply and said, all I need is a blessing for the day. That'll get me through. I developed a website called the Soul Garden Pathway. The blessings of the day became part of the Soul Garden Pathway. And the intent of it is an analogy between creating your sanctuary, your internal sanctuary, your spiritual sanctuary, and it is an analogy between that and how we create gardens in the physical world. And we create gardens because we have soil that is rich in nutrients, rich in roots. We plant seeds, we nourish, we nurture, things grow, they go to fruition, they spread, they plant again, and we start again. And that's what our lives are really about too. And every time we go through phases in our life, we're replanting in our garden. I have an immense gratitude for being in a position where I can share all of these things with people, and they in turn can interpret and use in a way that is most appropriate for them and to their highest good. So I'm in the process of writing the Soul Garden Pathway Guidebook, which will be out in 2019. This will be a tool, a tangible tool, more than just the postings on the website and the materials on the website, that people could actually go through in a step process to, again, create their own sanctuary and to be able to further develop their goals and their needs. I also wrote another book, which is being published next month in October. It is called Behind the Open Door. And Behind the Open Door is the first book in, I think, a 5-part series. It's a story about a girl named Cassie. It's about acceptance. It is also an adventure story. It brings into play the elemental kingdom, this imaginary world where angels and fairies and different aspects of again, an elemental field. And as this story continues, she is bringing more and more enrichment into the lives of all the people around her, and they are becoming much, much more aware of the gifts that she truly does bring to them. So I'm not sure what else comes my way. I certainly am open to all kinds of ideas and projects. Clearly, I feel that the Soul Garden Pathway and my website is not only to date the most important to me, but I believe it propels into the future. I believe that work from the Soul Garden Pathway is pivotal, certainly in my life, and I believe will be pivotal in the lives of many other people. The circumstances surrounding it, certainly the blessings for the day led me to it, but it was really knowing that as I was writing, more was coming forward to me that I needed to write. And so in my artistic life and my creative life, the circumstances are keeping a routine every day that promotes that writing, that understanding, and sharing, and being able to openly share with everyone.